What's up everyone, Doyler here, and we are on BigHoss's new Server 3 account. So check the link in the description for BigHoss's channel and throw him a sub if you haven't yet. He's super close to that 1K sub mark and monetization, so he can also earn $1 a video like me. So before we get started on BigHoss's account tune-up, we do have a Sushi Says question of the day. This question comes from none other than BigHoss himself. His question is, Sushi, why does Doyler have more subs than me? So be sure to stay tuned until the end of the video to see Sushi's answer. That said, look at this hero bag. This is clearly an account he won from Soul, just based on the fact that it is 4 Aidas and 4 Mims. Pretty obvious where he got this account from. Looks a lot like the one I have, only with more Aidas and Mims. We do have some updated meta heroes though on this account, which is nice. Actually a lot. We've got 3 carries, a Russ, a Drake, 1 Rogan, 2 Garudas, which slightly older but still relevant, and he built himself an E5 Inosuke, an E5 Tix, and an E5 Sherlock. The first thing I noticed on this account is it does not have Death 100 yet, and that is a huge surprise. It has a E5 Tix that is not yet Void enabled with a Splendid Punisher. So the first thing I would say on this account is to get Death 100. That's going to let him level his heroes up to 350. It's going to help in PvP. It'll help in other game modes as well, but the big upgrade for 350 is PvP because you are going to get that speed increase. So right now he's going to lose to a 350 Russ with his 345 Russ and so on. Past that, it's also just nice to get those 100 smash rewards every 2 days without having to go through it. And as far as Sealand is concerned, he does have Light and Dark 20 done, as expected, but Fortress is stuck at 16, even though he has that E5 Inosuke, so that's another place he can get a free win. Honestly, these 6 heroes right here would probably do it right now. We may even give it a try. Other than upgrading the Tix's Void imprints, I would condense some of these Void imprints. So right now it's got a V2 Russ, it's got a V1 Drake, it's got 2 almost V1 carries, it's got a few imprints on 1 Mim, it's got a V1.3 Rogan, and I believe that was it. So at this point, unless he's going to super well in this account, it can't compete in endgame PvP. So the real focus should be to level up in the Void after finishing Sealand where possible and that Death 100. So pushing a higher Void Corruption is going to help him get Stellar Shards faster, which is going to help get imprints faster, as well as those Cores of Transcendence, as it is about 60% of the way to a Void hero. Other than that, artifact-wise, it is looking good. There's a Splendid AMB on Russ, which is great. Mostly just on Russ for now, unless he wants to go with like a Belrain bait, although Belrain is going to struggle against 4Cs. It's got a Splendid Demon Bell on the Rogan. That's the only Demon Bell, so it's about halfway to an Energy Funnel. Oh, sorry, I forgot about my face. So he's currently on Void Corruption 40. I need to remember that for all my videos. You guys can't see behind me. But he's currently on Void Corruption 40. I assume you're farming at that level. Not too dissimilar from where I'm at, but can definitely be pushed a little higher already with these heroes if you move around to imprints. And I'm guessing it may barely be an Explorer. Yeah, so it's not even Explorer yet. Explorer should be doable with these heroes. The AMB Russ and the Punisher Tix alone should get you there, plus some carries, and you don't even need the Inosuke. Other than that, there's the Splendid Punisher on Tix. We've got a Glittery MSS on, I think it's on the Inosuke. So Glittery MSS isn't going to be great on the E5 Inosuke. This is more of, really Glittery's not great anyway, but Radiant and Splendid are going to be better on your 10-star or even 6-star Inosuke copies. I'll cover what artifact to switch this to in a second. We also have 2 Ruis that are currently spread out. I'm okay with that decision if you are running this carry and this Sherlock for PvP. That said, you might want to consider combining them into a glittery Ruyi for your Death 100 push. A glittery Ruyi on your Sherlock is going to make life a little easier, and then you can combine them during Ormus, hit that Death 100, and then break them apart. There are also 3 cogs. There's 1 on the Mihm and 2 on the Garuda. Cog's going to be a little better on Mihm than the Antlers Canes that are currently on him. It honestly just depends on which team you run more, because neither the Garuda nor the Mihm are going to be on your main CCL team or your early Aida lineups. There are 5 or 6 max pets, so you are going to be running like 5 Guild Wars teams, 5 Aida teams. So if the Mihm team fares a little better for you, run the cogs on Mihm. If the Garuda teams fare a little better, run the cogs on Garuda. Not a huge difference. Antlers is the 2nd best Mihm artifact. That said, there are 3 Antlers Canes on these Mims. I would combine these into a Radiant Antlers Cane. That's gonna... Not that you're having issues at this point, probably, but that'll make your Broken Spaces and Flame Shrine life a little easier. But more importantly, since you already have that E5 Inosuke, an upgraded Antlers Cane is going to be better on him. Since you aren't trying to maximize your attack versus HP ratio at this point, you're just trying to get as much attack as possible. So that's the first hero specific setup I want to cover. Since this Inosuke is already 345 and E5, you really want to run him with a 1-3 split and an upgraded Antlers Cane. You can't minimize your HP anymore at this point. He's not going to be as efficient as these 10-star or 6-star Inosuke's you've been seeing in videos, but an E5 Inosuke with a Radiant or Splendid Antlers Cane is still going to be an upgrade to your team in at least Realm's Gate. So it's not a huge nub Inosuke, but it's not an optimal Inosuke. You're not going to be pushing Void 60 with an E5 Inosuke, but you should be able to get to a place where you can farm mid to high 40s, low 50s easier if you build your team around him with that Radiant Antlers Cane. Other than that, let's take a look at the bags as well. So we've got, like I said, 60% to a hero. Stellar Shards are mostly done. We've got enough for 4 loops of the next big scroll event. We've got 1 light, dark, and 1 regular chest, and 1 artifact chest as well, which is nice. I wouldn't use this on an MSS because, like I said, your Inosuke is not optimal for that. You could consider a Demon Bell if you do want to go for a full energy funnel. You are going to need 4 more, though. A and B, you really don't need a second one at this point. I think a Demon Bell or even a Punisher would fare better. Yeah, technically you could build it with 3. Technically you only need 7 Demon Bells, but it's not going to be as guaranteed of a funnel. I didn't miss one. You're just saying 7 total, right, Tart? But yeah, so I would personally probably go for the A and B, or how many relics do you have? 222. So yeah, I would probably lean towards the Demon Bell myself. MSS isn't going to be worth it with that Inosuke. A second Punisher isn't going to matter until you have a second Tix. And a second A and B is, while it's nice for every game mode, it's not going to help you in the Vortex as much. And unless you're going to be endgame whaling to stay competitive in PvP, I think everyone's focus for, I mean, even accounts like mine that are like whale accounts that aren't going to be continue whaling, it's Void is going to be a higher payoff for your current resources than just trying to compete in PvP against multiple V4 Transcendence heroes. And yeah, blue. Yeah, there's 700 universal crystals. So if you do get your 2400, you're close to another artifact. A few more months, and you will have that 1200 for another artifact. So between that, halfway with relics, and 1 chest, you're not terribly far away from your 7th and 8th Demon Bells. That's where I would focus the artifacts. Copy-wise, we've got 1 Tix, 1 Ignis, 1 Rogan, Ithaqua, and Delacium, 2 Amon-Ra. So, Shadow, you could build an Ithaqua if you really wanted to for fun, but she's not as great in late game Void as Mega and I surmise she might be. She would help you complete that Shadow Sealand 20, but that's not a huge priority since at this point all it's going to give you is in the Void Temple. You will be able to work towards your increased damage, which is nice, but again, not super necessary. Fortress-wise, you've got your Emily Copley's for Mimchis. nothing really worth building for you in Fortress at the moment. Second Sherlock for PvP is fun, but again, not worth rushing late game PvP at this point. Don't you need... Oh, with yes, that's a good call. So if you Void Imprint this ticks to at least V3, V2 might work. I haven't tested personally. And if you upgrade that cog, ticks can solo clear. So Shadow can actually be done without the Ithaqua anyway. You just need to funnel your Void Imprints into ticks, which is already something I recommended for pushing the Void as well as Aspen Dungeon. So once you get this ticks, I think all gems should be spent on taking imprints off of all of these heroes, including the Russ, until you have V4 ticks, then worry about imprinting those other heroes for PvP and stuff like that. V4 ticks will help that Void, it'll help that Death 100 push, and it will help Shadow Sealand. And V4 ticks should make it a breeze. I've only seen V3 solo ticks clears. Yeah, so if you want Ithaqua for PvP, she's fine. Don't rush her, but you definitely can build her. She is going to be the best boosted Flame Shrine and Broken Spaces hero. Don't bother building Delacium. You've got plenty of support in. Even right now, you could run solo damage dealer, so Ithaqua or Russell, Belrain, Drake, Amun-Ra, Rogan, and Deathsworn. Or sorry, Heartwatcher. And honestly, you could even drop the Amun-Ra for Deathsworn. I think you'd survive just fine. And yeah, you'll be clearing Broken Spaces in 20 tickets, tops. Especially if you upgrade that Antlers, it'll be even less. Yeah, and Cog ticks can do Death 100, although the Splendid Punisher is going to be better. And on that note, you are going to want to get a crit attack stone. And maybe even a Holy Attack Stone for this ticks. For your Void pushes, both Realm's Gate and Valiant. Or, well, yes, eventually Valiant. Realm's Gate and Vortex, as well as your Aspen push. Other than that, where were we? Abyss. No one's worth building an Abyss at all at the moment outside of Ignis. And you are going to need an Ignis on this account if you do want to make that push for Valiant, especially without an energy funnel. Even with an energy funnel, Ignis is going to make your life a lot easier. So a good hero to maybe start thinking about building is an Ignis. You've got one chest here, which will have her. And you've got one Ignis here. So 2 out of 9 is a start. I would swap this away from Rogan to an Ignis. A second Rogan, not going to be that useful anymore. A second Rogan is a great 6th hero for your Vortex pushes, but you're not going to make that Vortex push without an Ignis anyway, so building the second Rogan isn't going to matter as much. Plus, double Rogan is dead in PvP with the Rise of Forces. Forest, you've got plenty here. Nothing worth building until you want to build a second Rogan for PvE reasons. Dark, honestly, triple carry I really like. Having triple carry and one Amun-Ra, you might want to consider regressing that Inosuke, to be honest. You already have a glittery MSS and that chest. How many soul stones does this account have? 45 soul stones? So actually, yeah, I don't love this Inosuke for this account. After you push Fortress Sealand, which we might try tonight, I would strongly consider regressing this E5 Inosuke, using that chest instead of a Demon Belt to get a Radiant MSS, and then stopping Inosuke at 6-star or 10-star and using him to push Void. He's going to be a lot better. You can run triple carry, Amun-Ra, Inosuke, and then another support hero, and make a much better Realm's Gate push, especially against those puppets. But I think that's going to be it in most of these factions. Light, you've got an E5 Asmo if you ever do get the crystals, and Asmo is the best hero, so I'd keep him around for now. Plus, no one's really worth having with all of these heroes, other than maybe a second Russ. Let's give Fortress Sealand a try, though. So let's hop right in with that setup. We're going to put Sherlock slot 2, Inosuke slot 5. We don't need the Emily copies. We're just going to use Fire Fist for CC. And Hoss says if we clear Sealand, we are going to regress that Inosuke. And then we're going to bring the Phoenix, which is maxed. And let's see how this goes. Should be nice and easy. It shouldn't be a ton of RNG for us. We got an upgraded, fully upgraded Punisher. Sherlock's gonna get his HP swaps. We got one stun out of the Fire Fist, so not bad. And now we just watch Inosuke just completely shred the boss while taking no damage. Look at that. Nice and easy. Seal end 17. Let's go right into 18. Wow, 3 different stuns from those Fire Fists. That's really good RNG because they target random opponents. Oh my goodness. And we get a counter freeze. This is just too easy. Look at that. Boss is already dead. Round 6, we got 2 minions. Boom. There it is. Let's go right on to 19. Yeah, man, for sure. Now we just need to figure out how to title the video to point out it's a tune-up and a Seal Land 20. Yeah, this Sherlock skin is super cool. Yeah, so as you can see, Inosuke is not losing his shield at all, and he is doing plenty of damage. Quick look at the damage report, 523 million from Inosuke, and we're already at Seal Land 20 after just 3 attempts. So that's a good clickbait title, not a super searchable one, but it is a fun clickbait title. Showing Haas how to play Idle Heroes. Look at this boss damage. This Punisher staff upgraded so much damage. We honestly didn't even need this Sherlock. We could have done it with Fire Fist and the Splendid Punisher, but if we're gonna go big, go all the way. So, not gonna be a problem to clear 20. We do proc on Bending Will though, because we were freeze locked, but... Oh no, we lost! Oh, we didn't get the perfect run. We got freeze locked and couldn't get more shields out. We do manage to lose once on Seal Land 20. Feels bad. So a little bit of RNG. Not the easiest clear ever. And Sherlock does not get an HP swap, so we're going to lose him in a sec too. That said, as long as Ino doesn't get freeze locked, he will get his shields refreshed. So that's what it looks like. We did get one loss, but that's alright. 802 million. There's Seal Land 20 for Haas. And, oh, he already did a smash. So we don't get to use the smashage. But we do unlock another, I guess, achievement in the temple. Higher damage against shadow opponents. And one step closer to 20. So, let's kill Inosuke after that. Haas said we can do it. Oh, we got to get him out of IDA. More content for the tune-up. Why is it... I don't know why heroes get locked in IDA when IDA isn't going on. Am I blind, guys? Oh, there he is. Don't answer that. Alright. Let's regress an E5 Inosuke. Don't do this at home. Oh, regression. So, the reason I'm doing this, for those of you that are watching, is if you are going to use a Radiant or Splendid MSS on an Inosuke to push your Realms Gate, you want 10 or 6 or maybe even 5-star Inosuke, because your goal is to maximize your attack to HP ratio. So I'll show this off real quick. So right now we have 221,000 attack and 3.7 million HP. Plus it gives him some food back so he can work on imprints for his ticks, so that's a good call. So that gives us a attack to HP ratio of roughly 6%. So we're going to regress him, and then I'll show you what it looks like at 6-star. So we're regressing him, and now he's got puppets to make that V4 ticks that I mentioned earlier. We've got a level 1 Inosuke, but we're going to lock so he doesn't accidentally feed him. We're not going to level him up. We're going to gear him 1-3, because again, our goal is to maximize HP versus attack. And we're going to give him that glittery MSS for now. Like I said, Haas wants to use that chest to make this Radiant now. But as you can see, we now have about 16,000 attack and 188,000 HP, which gives us a ratio of 8.5%. So a marked increase over our old HP or attack to HP ratio. The reason that we're trying to optimize this ratio is MSS upgraded prevents you from getting bursted down, basically. So at Glittery, you can't take more than 45% of your max HP. At Radiant, it's 30%, and then Splendid, it's 25%. And then his shield is based on his attack. So the higher your attack, the more HP your shield's going to have. The lower your HP, the less damage you're going to take due to an upgraded MSS. And then, so actually you're not going to have a Stonehouse because you're going to keep him level 1. That's the difference. So if you have a 10-star Inosuke, you can push to an SS3 stone and go like crit attack. Okay, his passive skill is based on damage dealt, not HP. So if you have higher crit chance and crit damage, you will get a slightly better from his basic. But, so you won't have any stones on this Inosuke, Hoss, because you want to leave him at level 1. Ormus is next week, and then Hoss will be able to upgrade it. Alright, so back to Sushi Says question of the day. Just to repeat it, it's Sushi, why does Doyler have more subs than me? So, Sushi says, the reason Doyler has more subs than BigHoss is, 1, because Dad spent way too much time uploading 3 videos a day. 2, he secretly paid off Barry to subscribe to him with all of his accounts. And 3, he was working harder, better, faster, and stronger than Mr. BigHoss. That said, Sushi thinks he'll hit 1,000 subs soon, so don't forget to click the sub button on both of our channels. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.